In a cozy little house, nestled between a big oak tree and a sparkling pond, lived two siblings, Leo and Mia. Leo was the older brother, and Mia was his younger sister. They loved each other very much, but they were as different as night and day, especially when it came to their routines. Every night, after dinner, when the moon started to climb the starry sky, Mia would finish her homework, read a chapter of her favorite book, and then snuggle into her bed. She'd listen to the crickets chirping outside and drift off to a peaceful sleep, ready for a new day. But Leo's nights were quite different. For him, nighttime was when the real adventure began. The adventure of video games. His room would be filled with the flashing lights and exciting sounds from his screen. Just one more level, he'd whisper to himself as the clock hands ticked past his bedtime, then past midnight, and often into the wee hours of the morning. He'd finally fall into bed, his mind still buzzing with digital dragons and space quests. The next morning, the sun would peek through the curtains, bright and cheerful. In Mia's room, she'd wake up with a smile, feeling refreshed and full of energy. She'd stretch like a happy kitten, get dressed, and skip downstairs for breakfast. "Good morning, Mom!" "Good morning, Dad!" she'd sing, her voice as bright as the morning sun. She'd happily eat her oatmeal and fruit, excited about going to school and playing with her friends. But in Leo's room, the morning was a different story. His mom would call, "Leo, time to wake up." But all he'd do is groan and pull the covers over his head. The sunlight felt too bright, and the sounds of the morning felt too loud. When he finally dragged himself out of bed, he felt like a grumpy bear woken from hibernation. He'd stumble downstairs, his eyes half closed, too tired to eat and too grumpy to talk. "Leo, you'll be late for school," his dad would say gently. Leo would just mumble and grab a piece of toast, feeling sluggish and slow. At school, Mia was a star. She listened carefully to her teacher, raised her hand to answer questions, and her drawings in art class were always colorful and creative. During recess, she'd be the first one on the swings, her laughter echoing across the playground as she ran and played with her friends. She had plenty of energy for everything. Leo, on the other hand, found school to be a struggle. In class, his head would feel heavy, and sometimes he'd almost doze off at his desk. The teacher's words sounded blurry, like a distant hum. When it was time for math, a subject he usually liked, his brain felt foggy, and he couldn't concentrate on the numbers. During recess, while other kids were playing soccer, Leo would just sit on a bench, too tired to join in. His friends would ask, "Leo, want to play?" But he'd just shake his head and say, "I'm too tired." One sunny afternoon, their mom announced a surprise. "Kids, we're going to the park for a picnic and to fly the new kite." Mia jumped up and down with joy. "Yay, a kite!" "Can we go now?" she cheered. Leo just gave a small, tired smile. He loved flying kites, but the thought of running around in the park felt exhausting. At the park, the scene was beautiful. The grass was green, the flowers were blooming, and a gentle breeze was perfect for kite flying. Mia grabbed the kite, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She ran with all her might, the kite trailing behind her, and soon it was soaring high in the blue sky, dancing with the wind. "Look, Leo! It's flying!" she shouted, her face beaming with pure happiness. Leo tried to run too, but his legs felt like they were made of lead. He took a few steps and then had to stop, panting for breath. He felt frustrated. He wanted to run and laugh like Mia, but his body just wouldn't cooperate. He sat down on the picnic blanket and watched as Mia and his dad took turns flying the kite, their laughter carried by the breeze. He felt a little sad and left out, all because he was so tired. Later that evening, as they were getting ready for bed, Mia came into Leo's room. She saw him sitting on his bed, looking glumly at his video game console. "Are you okay, Leo?" she asked softly. Leo sighed. "I don't know, Mia. I'm always tired. I was too tired to fly the kite today. I'm too tired at school. I'm just always tired." Mia sat next to him. "You know, Leo," she said, "maybe it's because you play your game so late. I go to sleep early, and in the morning, I feel like a superhero, full of energy. Maybe you should try it." Leo looked at his sister. She was always so happy and full of life. Maybe she was right. He looked at his game controller, then at his cozy bed. He thought about how much fun Mia had that day and how he had missed out. He made a decision. "Okay, Mia," he said. "Tonight, I'll try it. No games. I'll go to sleep early." Mia smiled a huge smile and gave him a big hug. "You'll see, Leo. It's going to be great." That night, for the first time in a long time, Leo turned off his game console after dinner. He read a book for a little while, and then he tucked himself into bed at the same time as Mia. It felt a little strange at first, but soon the quiet of the night helped him drift into a deep, peaceful sleep. The next morning, something amazing happened. Leo woke up before his mom even called him. He felt different. He felt rested. He felt energetic. He stretched and jumped out of bed, feeling light and happy. He got dressed quickly and hurried downstairs. "Good morning, everyone," he said cheerfully, surprising his parents. He sat down and ate a whole bowl of oatmeal. He even helped Mia pack her school bag. At school, Leo was a completely different person. He could focus on his lessons, and the math problems suddenly seemed easy again. He even answered a tricky question that no one else knew. During recess, he didn't just join the soccer game, he scored 2 goals. His friends were amazed. "Wow, Leo, you're on fire today," they cheered. Leo just grinned. It felt so good to have energy to run and play. That afternoon, he and Mia played in the backyard until the sun began to set. They built a fort, raced from one end of the yard to the other, and laughed until their tummies hurt. Leo wasn't tired at all. As they sat on the porch, watching the fireflies begin to glow, Leo turned to Mia. "You were right, Mia. Everything is so much more fun when you're not tired." Mia leaned her head on his shoulder. "I told you," she said with a smile. Our days are like our own little adventure stories, and we need our rest to have the energy to enjoy them. From that day on, Leo created his own balance routine. He still played his video games because he loved them, but he made sure to stop at a good time. He made time for homework, for playing outside, and most importantly, for a good night's sleep. He learned that a good routine wasn't about being boring, it was about giving himself the gift of energy. It was the secret to having happy, fun-filled days, just like his sister Mia. And so, the 2 siblings, once as different as night and day, learned to enjoy the sunshine and the stars, each in its own perfect time. And the moral of the story is that a balanced daily routine with enough time for play, work, and rest is the key to a happy and healthy life. It fills your days with energy and joy. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful, energy-filled day. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Bye for now.